My name is Daniel Vaughn, and I am the barbecue editor at Texas Monthly.
He says something about barbecue, Texas barbecue. It has a ton of standing.
I told him almost sheepishly that my favorite thing to drink with barbecue is champagne.
When he said that to me, I thought, that just sounds so pretentious.
Those contrasting flavors coming together in your mouth, it makes you appreciate each one even more.
So we decided, let's put it to the test. Daniel and I are at Sachet Restaurant with Yuri Tukuli. He's a sommelier, a trained wine expert.
And is it true that a good sommelier thinks that a champagne cork coming out of the bottle should sound no louder than a nun's fart?
It is quite true, yes.
Oh,
You see that?
that was the nun's
I
fart.
think I just heard a nun fart.
Yuri's teaching us the theories behind how to pair food and wine together and make them both taste even better. How much enjoyment does it add to food to have a good pairing?
Oh, it becomes an experience. You're no longer sitting down to feed yourself, but you're rather sitting down and you're thinking about every single flavor, and all of a sudden it becomes an experience.
We're learning that in any dish you can identify primary tastes like salty, acidic, sweet, bitter, fatty, and spicy. And you can do the same with wine. Red wine is generally a little bit bitter. White, rosé, and champagne are more acidic. And sweet wine is obviously sweet.
So if I want to enhance the flavor, a specific type of flavor that the dish has, I normally like to contrast that flavor with what's dominant in the wine.
The idea of pairing is, for example, you can complement the salty and fatty flavors of meat with a bold red wine. But you can also contrast them with a white wine that may be slightly sweet and a little acidic.
I had never even thought about the fact that there were these two different categories of complementary versus contrasting, and of course, looking back, that it seems a little more obvious.
Can I make a little observation? So this has like an orange zest on it, or a lemon
Yes.
zest, and with this wine together,
This guy knows what
this
he's
is
doing.
fantastic.
Brisket, which some people might say is a sort of blue collar food that should really be paired with beer or maybe with a soda. You're saying that that's not wasted on a 20-year-old champagne.
Absolutely not. I think it will be very interesting.
You're fishing.
I mean, when you're this right, it's not that hard to get the right answer.
Daniel is saying the essential flavor pairing for barbecue is champagne. So let's talk about the flavor of barbecue. We're trimming the fat off briskets at Cadillac Barbecue with owner Todd David.
They don't need anything more.
Daniel is totally in his element.
Would you say that fat is one of the essential flavors of barbecue?
Fat is flavor, it's moisture, it's protection to keep the meat from drying out.
The seasoning is a simple combination of just salt and a few kinds of pepper.
We got some beef, hot beef.
More beef.
What is the taste of barbecue?
Good quality meat and that fat and those seasonings and that smoke all mixed together.
They're so well marbled that you get the richness of that beefiness being carried by that melted fat inside as well.
Melted fat.
I know, it's a beautiful thing. Oh my gosh.
Not exactly a nun fart.
That contrasting flavor of the champagne makes you even more aware of the heaviness, pepperiness, and smokiness.
I'm starting to come around on it, I gotta say.
What do you think, Todd?
It works very well. It's a great way to go through a lot of champagne very quickly.
All right, time to put Daniel's theory to the test. We carried out brisket from Cadillac to Knife Steakhouse. A panel of judges will decide how well brisket pairs with a selection of wine, beer, bourbon, and champagne. Ben Reynolds, the sommelier here, helped pick the beverages and the panel.
I don't want a bunch of people who evaluate wine for a living because I feel like that skews the results as they'd relate to the general population.
That first drink with that first big mouthful of brisket and how good it tastes.
They look like they're putting a lot of potential energy into it.
There's some real contemplation happening here for sure.
For our third pairing, we're gonna do Champagne Bollinger. The oak from fermentation to aging adds a real richness. A little Garrison Brothers Yeah, Texas whiskey.
All right, let's see what the judges decided, and let's start with last place.
A two-way tie between our CL Buteau, Texas Tempranillo, and then actually the Champagne. Both tied.
23 points.
A definite surprise to both Ryan and myself.
Maybe you too?
We held our we
The winner with a perfect score from all three judges, bourbon.
It was a mouthful of deliciousness. It brought out the flavors of both together.
I appreciate your palates, even if I don't appreciate your opinion.
So this panel verified that the best pairing is not champagne, which contrasts with the richness of barbecue brisket. It's bourbon, which amplifies the fat, spice, and smoke.
That they had the opportunity to experience this sheer nirvana. Yeah, I feel bad for them.
It is fun to hang out with the #1 barbecue critic in Texas and drink delicious wine, eat delicious food.
I didn't come away with it feeling as if their opinion had swayed mine whatsoever. I still really liked the champagne with the brisket.
But Daniel has convinced at least one person. I think that combination is a total winner. Just don't tell Daniel I said that.